Song lyrics are difficult. For many they are a means to an end, an afterthought after all of the music has been created. But they don't have to be such a drag. In this ultimate guide, I will walk you through the lyric writing process. We'll look at where to begin with your lyrics, look at titles and lyric themes, and potential sources of lyric inspiration. Then I'll show you an outline approach for taking your lyrics from idea to completion. Let's begin. Lyrics are the words of a song. They are often sung to a melody, but can also be spoken, rapped, or delivered in other ways. They contain the emotion and context of the song, and are often the part of a song that people find the most memorable or relatable. The lyrics are tied so closely to the melody of a song that many people are unable to separate the two in their minds. Simply seeing the title of a song can evoke emotion, as the wider meaning, lyrics, melody, and feeling of the song are tied up in a single line. So the importance of song lyrics is undeniable, and yet they are often put off to the last minute as the final part of the songwriting process. Many songwriters, myself included, struggle with lyrics. Trying to condense deep emotion, meaning, and storytelling into a series of short song sections, whilst keeping them brief and memorable, is a difficult and daunting prospect. Where chords and melody may come more naturally for a musician, lyrics can feel a bit forced or rushed. For this reason, many great musicians and performers have collaborated with lyricists. Lyrics are an art form in their own right. Indeed, many people consider them a form of poetry. Finding a writing partner who has a better grasp of language can unburden some songwriters and allow them to focus solely on the music. But not everyone has a writing partner who is great at lyrics. Or maybe you want to develop your own lyric writing to become a more rounded songwriter. This is all great, but where do I begin? You can write a lyric at any stage of the songwriting process. We mentioned people putting them off until the very end of the process, but you can reverse this situation and start by writing your lyrics before creating music to accompany them. You could also mix the two disciplines. Songwriters will often start with a title to provide inspiration about the emotional direction of the song. Then as they work on melody and chords, they will piece together fragments of lyrics with the music to develop a whole song. Sometimes this process will be very fast, almost like the song has appeared as a whole. Other times this will take much longer, evolving over weeks or months. Either way, don't put yourself under pressure to write. There are no right or wrong approaches to songwriting, and it is more important to enjoy the process than to feel like you have to create the perfect song. So we've set the scene for your lyric writing and how you could start it at different parts of the songwriting process. I'll now show you 10 song title ideas to help you with your initial lyric ideas. Song titles are important. They are the first interaction that a listener has with your music. Whether that's online on a streaming service, in a record shop, or announced as "this next song's called" at a live gig. A good title can be the difference between someone listening to your music or not. In an extreme case, it could be the difference between your demo being listened to at a record company and you getting signed or not. This amount of pressure on a few words can give some songwriters title anxiety. The title can be put off, almost as an afterthought at the end of the songwriting process. As a result, a lackluster title can drag down the entire song. But if you reverse the situation and start the songwriting process with a great title, then you set yourself up for the beginning of lyric inspiration. The title can be the seed from which your lyrics are grown, so never underestimate the power of a good title. It can inspire you to write a lyric and complete a song. Indeed, this process of working out from a title is used by a lot of songwriters when lyric writing. A title can stabilise the theme and mood of a song until you get around to writing the whole lyric and music. Having a good title early on when writing a lyric matters, because where the title appears in the lyric has a significant effect on the structure of the song. A title may determine what is the first line of the song, the last line of the verse, or the shape of the chorus. As such, the title will be sung quite a few times during the song, and will therefore stick in the listener's minds. You can now see that it is worth keeping a list of potential titles for your songs. You can do this the old-fashioned way with paper, or use a notes app on your phone. But what if you don't have any good titles to hand, or feel like you struggle to create interesting titles? Well, you could use any existing titles that you like. Song titles can't be copyrighted and are fair game to be used again. But this isn't always a great idea. If a listener sees the title of a popular song, they will likely be expecting to hear a version of that song. And when they don't, it will usually lead to disappointment. There are a few exceptions to this rule. For example, think of Over the Hills and Far Away, released by Led Zeppelin in 1973 and also by Gary Moore in 1986. The title should indicate what the song is about, its mood or emotion, or something about the central event or story. Occasionally, you may want to title a song with a phrase that isn't in the song but describes what the song is about. If you've written the lyrics first, you can look through your lyrics and choose a phrase that you think would make a good title. If nothing stands out, or you want to start with a great title as I mentioned earlier, then the following 10 song title themes will help you. I will show you a selection of title styles and provide a few well-known examples for each. This list is by no means exhaustive, and many titles will straddle several theme categories. I hope you can find some inspiration here. Let's begin. Number 1. Pronouns. These are titles that have I, you, he, she, they, and are in them. They are very popular, especially in commercial songwriting. They immediately establish the presence of people in the song and invite us to identify with them. You can also imagine that you are being addressed by the singer. These titles often reveal what the dynamic in the relationship is in the song itself, so can provide some nice intrigue for the potential listener. Let's look at some examples. Motown songs use this extensively, so think of I was made to love her, I know I'm losing you, you keep me hanging on, I heard it through the grapevine, how sweet it is to be loved by you. The Beatles also use this idea a lot in their earlier songs, such as She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I Love Her, From Me to You, I Saw Her Standing There. Theme number 2, conditional. A conditional song title adds a word or phrase which makes the statement depend on something else. This could be a piece of information, an event, a cause, or a fear. These titles exploit words like if, can, can't, don't, just, when, then, after, ain't, be, because, from, here, how, keep, and let. They make the title dynamic because it functions like half of an equation, with the other half implied or stated in the lyric. This creates additional curiosity in the title, often building on the previous pronoun idea. Time for some examples. The Beatles, When I Get Home. Jimi Hendrix, If 6 Was 9. Elvis Presley, I Just Can't Help Believing. Patti Smith, Because the Night. Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman. And Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop. Number 3. Titles with verbs. Verbs are action words that describe what the subject is doing. Since verbs denote action, they give a title energy. This covers very general verbs like come, get, give, hold, and run. In these titles, the speaker, or another character, is doing something. The lyric can then develop from this action, describing its cause and consequence. Here are some examples. The Beatles, Ask Me Why, Carry That Weight, Drive My Car, Fixing a Hole. Billy Ocean, Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car. Jackie Edwards / Spencer Davis Group, Keep On Running. Number 4. Descriptive titles. Some titles are just plain descriptions. They might be the name of a person, a place, a time, or an event. They are not as dynamic as other titles, though they are usually clear in their meaning. To make them dynamic, or give a hint to the song theme, add a word that suggests a mood, action, or event. A traditional descriptive title might have the word ballad in it to signify a lyric that tells a story. Let's look at a few examples. The Beatles, Birthday, Christmas Time, or Penny Lane. Small Faces, Itchy Coo Park, and the Kinks, Waterloo Sunset. Number 5. Opposites. One potent form of title is that which has some kind of opposition. Such a title indicates the lyric may be about conflict and a struggle to bridge the tension between the terms. Pushed far enough, this can lead to outright paradox rather than simple contrast. Some examples include The Beach Boys, Heroes and Villains, Free, Fire and Water, Faces, Glad and Sorry, The Beatles, Hello, Goodbye, and Within You, Without You. Number 6. Proposition. A proposition title is one which sets out an idea rather than an action or feeling. Such titles are often versions of proverbs or catchphrases that express current opinion. They may be offered as a corrective or as a consolation. Although the use of you suggests a speaker introducing the idea to an audience, the song might also be addressed to the self. The lyric should explain the proposition and why it is important to the speaker, usually describing an experience which led to its adoption. Example time. The Doors, People Are Strange. The Rolling Stones, You Can't Always Get What You Want. The Beatles, All You Need Is Love. Number 7. Question/interrogative form. A title can invite curiosity if it asks a question, makes a demand, or addresses someone. This one is straightforward enough, but here are some examples. The Beatles, Do You Want to Know a Secret? Travis, Why Does It Always Rain on Me? Buzzcocks, Ever Fallen in Love with Someone You Shouldn't Have, The Clash, Should I Stay or Should I Go, and the Beach Boys, Wouldn't It Be Nice. Number 8, repetition. Many titles use repetition, which helps the title/hook lodge in people's minds. Repetition is rhythmic and well suited to a chorus as it can intensify a word. The most common repetition in a title is where words are repeated twice or 3 times. A pleasing variation is where a word is repeated in a modified form, for example Fleetwood Mac's Dreaming the Dream. This first batch of examples use repetition by 2. The Beatles, She Said, Bob Dylan, Lay Lady Lay, Bob Marley and the Wailers, No Woman No Cry, Smashing Pumpkins, Tonight Tonight, David Bowie, Rebel Rebel, Genesis, Follow You, Follow Me, and ABBA, Knowing Me, Knowing You. Now let's look at a repetition by 3, see how these are often just one word repeated. The Who, and many others, Run Run Run, The Beatles, Long Long Long, James Brown, It's a Man's World, The Beach Boys, Fun Fun Fun, Paul McCartney, Say Say Say. You can even go as far as repetition by 4, such as KC and the Sunshine Band, Shake Shake Shake, Shake Your Booty. Number 9, alliteration. Titles that repeat a word also feature alliteration. This is an effect caused when words start with similar consonants. Alliteration is a linguistic device valued in poetry because it stresses the sound of words, thus bringing them closer to the condition of music. In moderation, this can be appropriate for a lyric. Examples include The Stone Roses, Song for My Sugar Spun Sister, KD Lang, Constant Craving, The Who, You Better You Bet, and AC/DC, Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. Theme number 10, wordplay titles. Titles that use wordplay can take many forms. Conscious wordplay in titles goes from puns to riddles, non sequiturs, double meanings, incomplete phrases, and variations on catchphrases, all the way to outright paradox. Good title wordplay can be used to tease your audience or mask the full meaning of the song. Let's now look at 3 of these wordplay title ideas in a little more detail. First up is paradox. A paradox is a statement that seems to go against common sense but may still be true. Song titles do not have to be strict paradoxes, but they provoke our curiosity by asking the question, how can that be? In some paradox titles, it is easy to see that there is drama lurking behind the title, which instantly explains the lyrics. For example, Simon and Garfunkel, The Sound of Silence, The Strokes, Alone, Together, Fleetwood Mac, Before the Beginning, Frank Sinatra, Glad to Be Unhappy, Joy Division, Love Will Tear Us Apart. Ambiguity. These titles arouse our curiosity because they don't tell us all we need to know to make sense of them. This creates a desire in the listener to find out the truth behind the title. Some examples of this include The Beatles, Love You Too, and I Love Her, and Your Bird Can Sing. That means a lot. Buffalo Springfield, For What It's Worth. Wordplay with common phrases. As the name suggests, you can take a common phrase and provide a twist to create an interesting song title. This does, however, rely on the listener being able to recognise the phrase that is being referenced, or you run the risk of your clever wordplay being for nothing. These are used extensively. Here are a few examples. The Beatles, 8 Days a Week, Stevie Wonder, Yes to Me, Yes to You, Yesterday, Brian Eno, 7 Deadly Fins, Suede, Animal Nitrate, Def Leppard, Armageddon It, and Joan Armatrading, Me, Myself, I. Another starting point for your song lyric can be a lyric theme. This can also be a good way to kick-start your writing if you're suffering from writer's block. Writer's block is a condition in which an author is either unable to produce new work or experiences a creative slowdown. This is common for songwriters, especially when trying to write song lyrics. Many people find lyrics the hardest part of the songwriting process and put it off until the very end. I definitely fall into this category. But sometimes all it takes is a few ideas for general lyric themes and you can get into the flow of writing and complete the task. A theme is just the topic for a song lyric. It can be very broad, for example love, or more specific such as a certain street in the city. Having a theme in mind can help you to write song titles, think about the structure of your song and where its story will go. It might also help to shape the music in your song, for example whether you choose a major or minor key. I'll show you themes from a songwriting perspective, but this will help any creative person with writer's block more generally. The 15 lyric themes I share here are by no means exhaustive. Song themes can come from anywhere and cover absolutely any subject you can think of. See these as a starting point for you to begin thinking about wider song themes and ideas. Songs will often straddle multiple themes, so you don't have to feel boxed in by a single idea you learn here. Mixing ideas across themes can often help you to construct even more intriguing song lyrics. This video will always be available for you when inspiration doesn't strike. There will be plenty here to inspire your songwriting and get you past that writer's block. Let's begin. Theme number 1. Love. It's the big one, the most widely used theme in songwriting, the one that people love to hate. Love. Being such a strong and universal emotion, it is clear why love is a common choice for song lyrics. Love songs normally contain an element of conflict or crisis rather than being happy. Within this massive topic for lyrics, many stories and situations can occur. This could include searching for love. The pursuit of love is useful to tell different stories. Why is love being chased for or dreamt about? How will the person go about it? Is the person a hero in search of love or a loser in love? How does this make them feel? What obstacles are in the way of love? Love at first sight, a familiar theme for love stories. Think about the location of the first sight and what led to two people being there at the same time. Will they see each other again? Is it a mutual love, or is it told from the gaze of one person? Unrequited love is a universal theme and can cover deeper considerations about denying feelings or frustration. As with all song lyric themes, you can mix and match to create more interesting ideas. Finding a love rival. This increases the intensity of the song and also introduces other emotions such as anger. Is the love rival real or imagined? This provides lots of interesting angles for the song, such as changing point of view and looking at things from other people's perspective. The themes of conflict in relationships, including love triangles, are often the source of song lyrics. These very personal themes are often written as the result of events happening in the writer's own life, but you don't have to be currently experiencing such a situation to write a love song. Another common love theme is the breakup song. What has caused the breakup? Is it a mutual parting of ways, or is one side unhappy? What happens after the relationship? Does anger turn into revenge, or do they get back together? Themes of independence, moving on, and self-improvement can also come into the breakup song. A theme in its own right, but often considered part of the wider love umbrella, is sex and desire. Many love songs are consciously or unconsciously about sex. This is often coded with metaphor to be more subtle or to get around censorship. Think carefully about how explicit you are with this theme. Does it fit with your other work, and would you be comfortable performing it in front of an audience? What might seem to be clever at first could tip over into something ridiculous or offensive. Love is often seen as a cliched and tired theme, which many songwriters will seek to avoid as it has been covered so many times. But before you dismiss it, I'd recommend giving it a second thought. We often think about romantic love as a theme, but love can also cover other relationships, with your children, other relatives, friends, or even a pet. If you can find a unique angle or way of describing love, you will often be onto a winning song lyric. On to the next theme. Theme number 2, names. Names are a popular song lyric theme, with the name often featuring in the title as well. Name songs are also closely related to our previous theme of love. In the past, you would most commonly see a woman's name used for a love song, but don't dismiss the name theme because of this. Think about pairing a name with a phrase. This could hint at a wider theme and set you off on telling an interesting story. Another useful name theme is famous or historical figures. I think this is an interesting and underused theme for song lyrics. The name has instant recognition, but you can tell an interesting and unique story about the name. It could be historically accurate or a created story using the character. This has endless possibilities. Another approach would be to look up popular or interesting names and then use them as a starting point. A quick and easy way to get some inspiration. Theme number 3, clothing. Pieces of clothing, footwear, hats and jewellery can be the focus of song lyrics. As with many lyrics, they will usually serve as a vehicle to tell a wider story. For example, it could be a piece of clothing that you see in a shop, or a piece of jewellery that a friend or lover has or had. It could be a famous outfit that someone wears and becomes a metaphor for their life or works. You can describe the quality of the item, such as colour, texture and cost. The item could have a power. When it is worn, it changes the wearer and transforms their personality. It might also be something that is only worn in a certain situation, such as a suit or a dress, and the story of the situation can form a large part of the lyric. I think this is an interesting angle into more traditional song lyric storytelling. Theme number 4, the put down song. Everyone likes to moan. A put-down song will make a person, situation or place seem less important than it may be. This can be achieved through satire and humour, or be more abusive, angry and envious. It could be a rejection song, seeking to stand against the source of the put-down. Feelings of self-loathing are also often explored in put-down songs, questioning why you don't belong to a certain group or meet expectations. The classic sources of put-down songs are the establishment and mundane or ordinary things. So think of suburbia, boring jobs, marriage, religion and politicians. But a put-down song could be about anything. Think of something that annoys you and it might be the source of your next song lyric. Theme number 5, communications. A lyric about communicating is as old as songwriting itself. The means of communication can vary. In the past it would have been about writing a letter or making a telephone call on the landline. Today it could be a video call or a WhatsApp message. Whatever the method of communication, it will create a whole set of questions that can help to inspire your lyrics. Who are you contacting? Why do you need to contact them? Is it urgent? What happens if you don't contact them? Are you waiting for them to contact you? Why can't you contact them first? How long have you been waiting? How long are you prepared to wait? If you answer one or a few of these questions, you can then create a scenario and write a lyric about it. The method of communicating is just a vehicle for the true meaning of the song. Theme number 6, media songs. The radio, newspapers, TV, film and the internet are all good places for song lyric inspiration. But the media itself can also be the theme of your song. The news, whether on TV, in print or online, can be an easy lyric theme. Is it good or bad news? What are the events behind the headline? The news item or moment in history can be used as a metaphor for the narrator's life or current mood. Listening to the radio or a streaming music playlist can be another source of ideas. How do you feel if a song you don't like is being played? What are you doing whilst the music plays? How do you feel when a great song comes on? You can also take influence from TV shows and films. It could be a specific program or movie, or it could be more general, such as the role that TV plays in society. I like the idea of using the commonplace setting of watching the TV to be where a story or idea from one of the other themes can be told. Theme number 7, party time. Songs about partying, particularly from a teenage perspective, have long been used in pop music. You could be enjoying the party or take a more introvert position and not enjoy them, or be frustrated from the experience. This will often be tied into themes of love and desire. The party idea can extend to other settings such as a gig, concert, disco, club or festival. Tied closely to this theme is the idea of performance and dancing. A song can be about a particular dance, which may dictate the music as well as the lyrics, which allow the listener to dance to the song. Or they could be about a completely made up dance, possibly with instructions about to perform it within the lyrics. Theme number 8, place. Place is a huge theme in song lyrics. This can cover living in and journeys between places. Different countries may evoke a range of feelings or ideas, depending on what point of view the song's narrator comes from. Is the place a big, sparsely populated country with wide open spaces, or a densely populated, cramped city? City life is a common theme because a lot of people have experienced it. You could write about city life generally, or get really specific about a particular street in a particular city. The loneliness or isolation of the big city is a widely used idea, as is using the city as a metaphor for modern living. Think about the people that live and work in the city. Also consider visitors and the idea of being a foreigner in a city. The holiday song is a great way to introduce temporary relationships, desires, and other potential tales. I like the idea of telling a story from several perspectives, and the city is a perfect vehicle for this sort of song. You can also explore the opposite of the city with the countryside. The quiet and tranquility can provide different story ideas, but they can also be linked with the feeling of isolation. The yearning to move or travel can be a useful part of the place-themed song. Using places in your song can also lead to tales of journeys, and these can create an endless source of metaphor. Where is the journey going? Why are you taking the journey? How are you travelling and what is the journey like? Have you taken this journey before? Do you think you will make it through the journey? The idea of travelling home is a strong emotion with thoughts of safety, comfort and familiarity. The mode of transport that the journey uses is also an interesting sub-theme. Many songs have been written about driving a car or taking a plane somewhere. I think transport is a great way to add an element of interest and conflict or frustration into your song lyric. Theme number 9, money and work. Money and work are more universal experiences that can make good song themes. The The work song is often linked to the city theme because that's where many people work. Ideas can include whether you like or hate your job. Is it going anywhere or are you stuck in a rut? How is your journey to work? Does your mind wander on the journey? What sort of relationships do you have with your work colleagues? Are you being exploited by your work? Do you have an interesting trade or business that you work in? Another common thought is about the weekend and how work is a barrier to fun and relaxation. Concerns about money are widely shared, so can create an interesting theme. Why do you not have much money? What lengths would you go to get more? Do you dream about having lots of money? What problems do people with lots of money have? I think the power of money in culture and society can be a strong theme to use in your song lyrics. Theme number 10, crime and punishment. Songs about crime and punishment are great for evoking strong emotions. Everyone has thought about being caught breaking the law or going to prison at some point. You could use this theme to write from the criminal's perspective. Why are you breaking the law? Do you feel like an outsider? Why do you want to work against the system? If you want to further the intensity, then bring in stories about firearms and homicide. What has put you in this life and death situation? Is it anger, jealousy, or another emotion? Or is it linked to the previous theme, work and money? The other obvious route is to look through the victim's eyes. How does it feel being the victim of crime? Or do you simply have a fear of crime in a certain place or time? Crimes involving fire and arson evoke strong emotions. Consider how you would feel if your home burnt down, for example. You can also look at the outcome of crime. Courts, judges, police and prison. I think an interesting idea is to start with a victim of crime or a member of law enforcement who then turns to crime. The reasons for their change in life and circumstances would provide all sorts of intriguing story plots. Theme number 11, time. Another huge and universal theme is time. The fear of running out of time, whether that's to do a task or a more existential consideration, is a very strong emotion. Time songs can be about days of the week. What emotions do different days create? Do you look forward to a certain day of the week or hate others? It can also be about different times of day, the tranquility of the morning, a relaxing afternoon, the change at twilight or sunset, or the fear of the evening and darkness. They could also be about seasons and months. What big events happen in this season, or how do you feel in this season? Are you brave enough to tackle a Christmas song? Time could be about looking to the past. What memory are you thinking about? How did it come to mind? Was it positive or negative? Is it something to do with your childhood, youth, or school days? You could also consider historical dates in the past and tell an alternative history. The next time idea is the present. Are you living in the moment to forget the past or not worry about the future? Is your present situation the best time in your life or the worst? Obviously, you can also look to the future. Are you hoping for the future to escape the present? Do you dream of something big in the future? Or is your song set into the far future? What is life like now? Is it some sort of dystopian future or set in space? I think the idea of looking at the same person throughout different time periods could provide an interesting time travel themed song. Theme number 12, music and song. Songs about songs are more common than you think. Songwriters are immersed in music and creativity, so it can be an easy theme to fall back on. You can write about being a musician. What do you like? What don't you like? Do you like performing or writing more? Do you wish you were a popular musician? Playing an instrument can be a good source of themes. How long have you played for? Are you any good, or do you wish you were better? Who have you met through playing your instrument? As with all of the themes, think about how a musician could be placed in various interesting scenarios from other themes in order to develop more interesting ideas. Theme number 13, politics and protest. Protest songs are a tradition that goes back a long way. Think about what it is you're protesting. Is it something you've fought against all your life, or a new source of anger? Is it based around current events or a historical injustice? Politics often feature in the protest song, usually as something to rally against. The primary emotion in these sorts of songs is usually anger. Think about whether this is something that you want to channel creatively and see if you can come up with an original way to convey your message. Theme number 14, fantasy and myth. The worlds of fantasy and myth have long inspired songwriting. Think about the number of heavy metal songs inspired by these genres of literature. You could take inspiration from old fairy tales or look to the world of books. For example, the works of J.R.R. Tolkien have been a huge source of inspiration for many a songwriter. You could also consider TV series and films that depict stories of fantasy and myth. Think about writing from the point of view of a character within one of these stories. Another idea would be to draw parallels between fantasy and your own life to provide an interesting comparison story. Theme number 15, spirituality. Religion and belief are a huge source of inspiration for writing song lyrics. Many genres of music have their roots in hymns and prayers. You could base a song around the religion you practice, or look at a religion that you are less familiar with. It could look at the problems that exist within a religion, or the salvation that it provides. If you don't believe or are skeptical about religion, it could provide an atheistic narrative, or a commentary on the life lessons that can be drawn from each point of view. Songwriters will also explore wider and more existential questions. Where did we come from? And what happens when we die? Theology is a huge theme to be explored and provide inspiration for your song themes. As with all songwriting, be mindful of who your audience will be and what reaction you seek to draw from them with your lyrics. Song lyric inspiration can come from anywhere. Sometimes the hardest thing is being able to capture the inspiration in the moment. Let's now look at 15 sources of inspiration. Inspiration for song lyrics can come from many sources. For some songwriters, personal experiences and emotions provide the spark for a new song. Others may be inspired by the world around them, drawing on current events or the beauty of nature for their lyrics. Some may find inspiration in books, films, or other forms of art. No matter the source, songwriters often spend time reflecting and brainstorming to find the right words and ideas to express in their songs. But sometimes the hardest part of lyric writing can be starting in the first place. A songwriter's worst enemy is an empty page or Word document. You could reach for an established theme to start the process of creating lyrics. Alternatively, you can seek inspiration from other avenues. Number 1. Listen to people talk. Listening to people talk is a great way to create song lyrics. By paying attention to the words and emotions of the people around you, you can gain insight into their experiences and feelings. This can be especially helpful for songwriters who are looking for new ideas and inspiration for their lyrics. For example, you might listen to a conversation between two friends, noting the words they use and the emotions they express. You might also eavesdrop on a stranger's conversation or listen to a group of people discussing a topic that interests you. By carefully listening to people talk, you can gain a better understanding of their perspectives and emotions, which can help you to write more relatable and authentic lyrics. Additionally, by listening to the way people speak and the rhythms of their conversation, you can also gain inspiration for the melodies and rhythms of your songs. Number 2. Keep a note. It is important to be prepared to capture song lyric ideas as they come to you. One way to do this is to keep a small notebook and pen in your pocket at all times. This way you can quickly jot down any ideas that come to you, no matter where you are. Additionally, you can use the notes or voice recording feature on your phone to capture ideas on the go. Another useful tip is to keep a notebook by your bed in case inspiration strikes in the middle of the night. This way you can quickly write down your ideas before they slip away. By being prepared to capture your ideas as they come to you, you can ensure that you don't lose any valuable inspiration for your song lyrics. Number 3. Do it in public. Writing a song lyric sketch in a public place can be a great way to find inspiration and focus. One option is to try writing in a coffee shop, where the background noise and bustle of the people can provide a creative spark. Alternatively, you could try writing in a park, where the sounds of nature and the fresh air can help to clear your mind. Other possibilities include writing in a pub or bar, where the atmosphere can be lively and energising, or taking a walk around an art gallery, where the visual stimuli can provide inspiration for your lyrics. By trying different settings and environments, you can experiment to find the one that works best for you and your writing process. Number 4. Listen to music. Listening to music is a great way to alter your frame of mind and encourage a receptive mood for songwriting. By choosing music that resonates with you, you can tap into the emotions and ideas that the music evokes. It can be helpful to write down the thoughts and feelings that the music inspires, as well as any images or scenes that come to mind. Another interesting exercise is to listen to music in a language that you don't know. This can help to break you out of your usual frame of mind and allow you to focus on the sounds and rhythms of the music. You can then write down any phrases or words that the music suggests to you. Another technique is to simply turn on the radio, either at home or in the car, and see what inspiration comes your way. You could also do this with a YouTube or music streaming playlist. By using these techniques, you can find new ways to access your creativity and write better lyrics. Number 5. Newspapers and film. Glancing through a newspaper or magazine can be a great way to find inspiration for your song lyrics. By looking at the headlines and articles, you can gain insight into current events and the world around you, which can provide ideas for your lyrics. Additionally, you can look at film guides or websites and find an exciting title to work with. This can help to spark your imagination and provide a starting point for your song. For example, if you see a film title that catches your eye, you could try writing a song that tells a story related to that title, or that explores the emotions and themes of the film. Number 6, go to your instrument. If you're struggling to find inspiration for your song lyrics, one technique you can try is to put your pen down and go to your instrument. By playing your instrument, you can tap into a different part of your brain and access new ideas and emotions. For example, you might try playing a simple chord progression or melody and see what words and phrases come to mind. You can also try improvising on your instrument, letting your fingers wander and see what melodies and rhythms emerge. Additionally, you can try playing along with a favourite song or piece of music and see how it inspires you. By using your instrument as a source of inspiration, you can unlock new creative pathways and find the perfect words for your song lyrics. You can also use a similar process with your favourite digital audio workstation or a program like HookPad. Follow the link in the description below if you want to get HookPad for some quick inspiration. Number 7, watch the TV. Writing with the TV on in the background can be a great way to find inspiration for your song lyrics. By turning the TV on and placing it behind you so that you can't see the picture, you can keep an ear open for interesting phrases and sounds that you can incorporate into your writing. This can help to break you out of your usual writing habits and allow you to access new ideas and perspectives. Alternatively, you can try watching the TV with your notebook and pen in hand and jot down any words or phrases that catch your attention. This can help you to stay focused on the TV and actively listen for inspiration. By using the TV as a source of inspiration, you can discover new ideas and emotions that can help you write better lyrics. Number 8, write randomly. One technique for finding inspiration for song lyrics is to write randomly, letting the first thing that comes to your head flow onto the page. This can be helpful if you're feeling stuck or uninspired, as it can help to clear your mind and access your creative subconscious. To do this, you can simply start writing without censoring yourself or worrying about the quality of your writing. You can write in prose or in a more structured format, such as a list or a poem. The key is to keep going until you have filled every line of the page with words. Once you've finished, you can then look back over what you have written and see if you can find any nuggets of song lyrics. These might be phrases, words, or ideas that stand out to you as having potential for a song. By using this technique, you can uncover hidden inspiration and write better lyrics for your songs. Number 9, go travelling. As you travel by the transportation of your choice, take in the sights, sounds, and emotions of your surroundings. Let the movement of the vehicle and the passing landscape inspire you. Watch the world go by and let your imagination run wild. You may find yourself with a newfound sense of song lyric inspiration, ready to create and capture the essence of your journey. Whether you are on a train, a plane, in a car, or simply walking, allow yourself to be transported both physically and creatively. Number 10, work backwards. One way to approach writing a lyric is to start with an ending or punchline in mind and then work backwards from it. This allows you to focus on crafting a narrative that leads up to the punchline and ensure that your lyric has a clear direction and purpose. By starting with the ending in mind, you can also make sure that your lyric builds towards the punchline in a way that is engaging and effective. As you work backwards from the punchline, you can experiment with different words and phrasings to create a lyric that flows smoothly and captures the mood and emotion you want to convey. Number 11, keep it regular. To improve your songwriting skills, it is important to set aside regular time in your schedule to focus on writing lyrics. This could be a specific hour or two each day, or perhaps a set number of days each week. By following a consistent timetable, you'll be able to develop a habit and routine that will allow you to focus on your lyrics without distractions. This will also help to ensure that you are making progress and moving forward with your songwriting, rather than getting stuck in a rut or losing momentum. Additionally, having a regular timetable will allow you to set goals and track your progress, so that you can see how far you have come and what areas need further development. Overall, following a regular timetable for writing song lyrics can help you to become a more disciplined and effective songwriter. Number 12, cross-fertilise. When you're struggling to come up with ideas for a new song, sometimes it can be helpful to write multiple lyrics at the same time. This can help to spark inspiration and give you a wider range of options to choose from. By writing more than one lyric, you can experiment with different themes, moods and styles and see which one resonates the most with you. This can also help you to avoid getting stuck in a rut and repeating the same idea over and over again. So if you're feeling stuck, try writing multiple song lyrics at once and see where it takes you. Number 13, use your memory. One potential approach to using a childhood memory for song lyric inspiration is to take a specific moment or event from that memory and use it as the basis for the lyrics. For example, if the childhood memory is of playing in a backyard on a sunny day, the song could focus on the feeling of freedom and joy that came with running and exploring in that space. The lyrics could describe the sights and sounds of the environment as well as the emotions and sensations experienced by the child. Alternatively, if the core feeling of the childhood memory is one of nostalgia or longing, the song could take that emotion and project it into an imaginary situation, such as a protagonist looking back to their youth and reminiscing about the carefree days of their past. The lyrics could explore the ways in which time has passed and the ways in which the protagonist has changed, all while capturing the bittersweetness of remembering a time that can never be fully regained. Number 14, read a book. Reading a book can be a great way to find inspiration for song lyrics. By immersing yourself in a well-written story, you can tap into the emotions and experiences of the characters and use them as a source of inspiration for your own lyrics. For example, if you are reading a romance novel, you might find yourself drawn to the passionate feelings of the characters and be able to use their experiences to create a love song. Alternatively, if you're reading a mystery novel, you might be inspired by the tension and intrigue of the plot to write a suspenseful song. Overall, using a book as a source of inspiration for song lyrics can help to add depth and emotion to your music. Number 15, collaborate. If you're a musician or part of a band, it may be a good idea to find someone to collaborate with on writing song lyrics. This could be a fellow band member or even someone outside of your group. Collaborating on lyrics can bring a fresh perspective and new ideas to your songs. It can also be a fun and creative process to bounce ideas off each other and see how they develop into fully formed lyrics. Finding the right person to collaborate with may take some time and effort, but the end result could be a truly unique and powerful song. Hopefully you've now gathered enough ideas to begin a song lyric. In the next section, I'll take you through the steps towards a completed song lyric. Writing song lyrics can be a difficult task for many reasons. For one, lyrics are often expected to be clever, catchy, and memorable, which can be a high bar to meet. Additionally, lyrics are typically meant to be paired with music, which can add another layer of complexity to the writing process. It can be difficult to find the right words to fit the melody and rhythm of a song and to convey the desired emotions and ideas. Furthermore, writing lyrics that are relatable and resonate with a wide audience can be challenging. Overall, writing song lyrics requires a combination of creativity, talent, and hard work. Lyric writing also raises the question of what's more important, spontaneity or craft. Songwriters have varying views on the importance of spontaneity versus craft when it comes to writing lyrics. Some songwriters believe that the best lyrics are those that are written spontaneously, without too much thought or planning. These songwriters may prioritise capturing their emotions and ideas in the moment, and believe that overthinking can stifle creativity and authenticity. However, others believe that writing lyrics is a craft that requires careful planning and attention to detail. These songwriters may spend a lot of time refining their lyrics, trying out different words and phrases to find the perfect combination. Both approaches can lead to successful lyrics, and the right approach may depend on the individual songwriter's style and preferences. The easiest starting place for a song lyric is with a lyric sketch. A song lyric sketch is a rough draft of a song's lyrics. It is typically a brainstorming tool used by songwriters to capture their ideas and emotions quickly and spontaneously. A song lyric sketch may include incomplete phrases, unfinished thoughts, and even scribbles or doodles. The goal of a song lyric sketch is to capture the essence of the songwriter's ideas, rather than to produce polished, finished lyrics. A song lyric sketch can serve as a starting point for further refinement and editing, or it can be developed into a completed song. Songwriters may use lyric sketches to experiment with different ideas and approaches, and to help them get their creative juices flowing. When writing a sketch, it is important to just keep writing without doubting yourself or your ideas. Don't reject the first line that comes to you, and don't reject ideas or phrases as not good enough until you have at least a page of material. Even if you think something is rubbish, write it down. You might need a couple of pages before anything good emerges. It is also important not to try and set a rhyme pattern early on, but if rhymes appear naturally, leave them in. Don't let the search for a rhyme hold up the flow of thoughts and ideas. Writing a song lyric sketch is like panning for gold. You need to be patient and persistent. It can also be helpful to silence the perfectionist within and to let your ideas go off in any directions they are taken. You may end up with 2 or 3 sets of lyrics, which you can look at later. If you have music available, you can use it to keep the creative flow going. Try to get into a trance or spell-like state where the unconscious mind is working away and you lose awareness of time. Keep writing until you are tired, your attention breaks, or you run out of ideas. Once you've got a reasonable attempt at a lyric sketch, it's time to take a first look. It can be helpful to take a break and then come back to the lyrics to see what you have. This can give you fresh eyes and help you notice lines that stand out. Pay attention to lines that stand alone and those that connect to other lines. Connected lines can make up a verse, so consider how long your verse would be if you use those lines. Look for patterns of phrasing or potential patterns, as these could determine the structure of the lyric. For example, a list is a common pattern in song lyrics. Some single lines will suggest ways in which they can be delivered, so consider how you would perform the lyric. As you review your lyric sketch, think about the theme, story, or mood that is emerging. If you see more than one, choose the one that is the most interesting or that you have the most lines for. This could be useful for a bridge in the song. Scan the sketch for a memorable phrase or image that could be the song title and shape the chorus. This phrase should sum up what the song is about. Finally, think about where the song will start and where it will end. This includes looking for a memorable first line. Consider whether the lyric will have rhyme, and if so, what kind. It can be a good idea to bring rhyme in as early as possible if you're going to use it. Now you should have a rough idea of the core of your lyric, with a few lines that stand out. If you've gone on to have a more developed song already, that's great. Sometimes these things come along very quickly. If on the other hand you have struggled so far, you can either take a break and try one of the earlier techniques again, or continue on to the next process, which is the first draft. Rewriting a song lyric sketch is an important step in the process of creating a finished song. After you have captured your initial ideas and emotions in a sketch, you can begin to shape, clarify, improve, and polish the lyrics. The first draft is when you begin to take the rough material from the sketch and lay out a structure that will carry the lyric through the remaining drafts. The sketch is often driven by inspiration rather than by selective editing of something that is already in front of you. With the first draft, you continue to draw on the inspiration of the sketch, but go on to shape, select, rephrase, supplement, and eliminate. This process is also creative and should be conducted in as inspired a frame of mind as possible so that new ideas can continue to flow in. It is often best to do the first draft as soon as possible after the sketch so that you stay in touch with the initial inspiration. You can then do as many drafts in one sitting as are necessary to get the basic shape and content of the lyric. Precise corrections and polishing can wait, because the fundamental structure of the lyric is now in place. At this stage, it is important for you to reserve judgment about your sketch. You should not be too critical of your initial ideas and should not agonize over individual words. Instead, you should focus on the overall sequence, imagery, and basic theme of the lyric. The demands of your critical faculties should increase only with later drafts. More importantly, you should try to find the central energy of the lyric. This is the point that people must be able to identify with, and it is often located in the chorus, a repeated refrain if the song doesn't have a chorus, the first line, or the title. For example, think of the Beatles' All You Need Is Love, or Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run. In both cases, you instantly know where the central energy is expressed. If you cannot find anything from your sketch that is coherent, you should not worry. You can put the sketch aside and either write another sketch or do something else musically. You can always come back to the unused sketch later and start a draft or use parts of it for inspiration in another song. Hopefully you've now got some sort of first draft. Congratulations on getting this far. Many songwriters give up before now. You may be in the position of having a finished lyric now. If you feel your lyrics need some more work, then you can move on to further drafts. Continuing to draft a song lyric for as long as it takes to get a coherent lyric is an important step in the writing process. If your initial sketch and draft provide a lot of material, you may need to make some drastic cuts to get the lyric to the right length and focus. After 2 or 3 drafts, you may find that you only need to reconsider the odd word here and there. If you already have music for this lyric, you may want to check each draft against the music to see if the words fit or are singable. When a draft is nearly finished, it is a good idea to type it on a word processor. At this late stage, strive for objectivity. Seeing your words in cold type on the screen or printed out, and no longer in your own handwriting, can help to depersonalise them. This can be an aid to seeing the effectiveness of the lyric and whether any parts need changing. Finally, a cooling off period is often advised. Come back to the lyric after a few days and see how it looks. You may find that you can fix a problem then that you couldn't have solved earlier. It may also be that if you go on to compose the music for this lyric, the music will dictate changes. Not all songs can be composed and written in a short space of time. After some time, you can come back to your lyric and see if it needs a final polish. Writing song lyrics can be a challenging and rewarding process. It often involves a combination of creativity, hard work, and artistic judgment. Even what may seem like pure inspiration can often be the result of hard work and careful planning. As a songwriter, you may choose to take greater trouble to improve your lyrics, even at a late stage in the process. However, not everyone may view lyrics as an important part of a song. Some may believe that audiences don't pay attention to lyrics, or that they don't matter as much as other aspects of a song. In this case, your artistic ambition may go beyond what is pragmatically necessary. It is up to you to decide how much effort you want to put into your lyrics. Another important aspect of writing lyrics is knowing when to stop. It is possible to over-refine your lyrics, and in doing so, to lose the freshness and spontaneity of your earlier drafts. This is where artistic judgment comes into play. As a songwriter, you need to be able to see when an idea is not worth pursuing, and to know when to move on. This skill takes experience and practice to develop. Songwriters have different views on the question of spontaneity versus craft when it comes to writing lyrics. Some may believe that the best lyrics are those that are written spontaneously, without too much thought or planning. Others may believe that writing lyrics is a craft that requires careful planning and attention to detail. Ultimately, the right approach may depend on your individual style and preferences. You can't force creativity, and you need to find what works best for you. You've learned how to write a song lyric. Now learn how to write the rest of your song by watching the playlist on screen now.